Welcome back guys to some Yooka-Laylee. Yes, the Toybox version is finally out. Honestly, I wasn't expecting the game to get released on July 28th. I was kinda expecting it to get released during mid-July. But it still got released, so July is July. Now what exactly is the Toybox version of Yooka-Laylee? It's a spoiler-free version of the game. It allows players to kinda experience the game a bit. They can control the cameras, try some of the moves, and kinda get a feeling of the game. Now at the same time, this allows Playtonic Games to get feedback. A lot of people funded this game. Playtonic Games doesn't want to disappoint. They're taking their time to do their best and ensure that fans and backers will enjoy the game once it gets released. Okay, now Toybox is not considered a demo. As you can notice, we don't see any worlds. Yooka and Laylee are surrounded by these huge blocks, so it's basically a version of the game which allows players to experience the game a little. It's a pre-alpha. It gives backers the chance to try out the controls. The Toybox is exclusive to backers only. Unfortunately, I wasn't a backer. I was too late, so I didn't have the chance to try this version out. But you know what's awesome, guys? A user was kind enough to let me use his gameplay in this video. User Thunderous, I probably mispronounced his name. I'll leave his channel link in the description so you guys can check out the whole gameplay. Alright, for those of you who don't know, there's actually two versions of the Toybox, the basic version and the plus version. For those who backed the game with 20 euros minimum, were eligible for the basic version. For those who backed the game with 35 euros, were eligible for the Toybox Plus version. So basically, Playtonic Games sent them two codes, one for the basic version and one for the DLC, Toybox Plus. What's the difference between the two? The Plus version includes combat gameplay and a new area to explore, according to Playtonic. So yep, these backers redeemed their codes and got the chance to try out the Toybox version. The Toybox version is only available on PC, Mac, and Linux. Playtonic Games recommends a controller. It's better than a keyboard, right? It could be a PS4 controller or an Xbox One controller. Xbox also works, so there you have it. You know what's great? The gameplay already looks amazing. We're not even talking about the final game. Just imagine what the game will feel like once it gets released. Plus, Playtonic Games will get a bunch of feedback. So this Toybox version is like a huge bonus. Alright, the gameplay starts with Yooka and Laylee meeting this robot. You can notice Toybox Plus in the version. This gameplay is the Plus version of the game. So the robot's name is Inept and he describes the Toybox as a sandbox, a simulation of a real-world final game. Some parts of the Toybox version have elements of the worlds which will be in the final game, but overall, we're dealing with blocks. So the main purpose of this version of the game is to pretty much test out the controls and get a feeling of the game. So, like I said in the beginning, it's spoiler-free and will give backers the chance to try out the attacks and moves. Now, after watching some gameplays of the Toybox version, when the player collects 100 quills, they get a prize. I'll talk about that later on. Now, this is pre-alpha footage we're talking about. We have parts of our world which we'll visit in the final game, but overall, we only see blocks. But we do have water, but that's pretty much it. And I'm guessing they added the water to try out the swimming controls. Makes sense. There's one thing I realized, the robot which Yooka and Laylee meet throughout the whole gameplay has funny remarks and comments. And this just proves that Yooka-Laylee will have a lot of hidden humor. The game will pretty much have a lot of jokes overall, and I'm looking forward to that. Now the first thing that happens, after talking to the robot, a switch appears. Yooka and Laylee perform this move which is very similar to Banjo-Kazooie's Beak Buster. Yooka jumps in the air and Laylee does the rest. A lot of these switches appear throughout the gameplay. They pretty much reveal secret areas and open doors. So, does this mean that Yooka-Laylee will have a lot of hidden areas in the game? Probably. Here's another move that easily reminds us of Banjo-Kazooie. It's called the Flap Flip, which basically allows Yooka to jump pretty high in the air and reach platforms. Oh, when Yooka and Laylee are pressing a switch, there's an official name for that ability. It's called the Ground Smash. Okay, throughout the gameplay, Yooka and Laylee can collect these quills inside treasure chests. There's a lot of these chests scattered around the area, so you can pretty much enjoy the Toybox for a while. Of course, backers can speedrun through the game. The record so far is 7 minutes and 9 seconds, which is pretty impressive. Alright, since we're talking about a pre-alpha, we don't have any health bar, nor power meter. The power meter is usually used when Yooka performs a bunch of moves. Let's take Yooka's roll, for example. By rolling, we consume power. Flying also consumes power. For those of you who haven't watched the E3 trailer, there you go. Okay, I understand this isn't a demo, but we still haven't seen the water gauge. During the E3 trailer, we haven't seen any sort of water gauge which shows how long Yooka-Laylee can breathe underwater. I mean, can they breathe underwater? We still haven't seen any sort of gauge. Since the toy box is a pre-alpha, it kinda makes sense that we don't see the gauge. Now, will we get brand new trailers during PlayStation Experience, Gamescom, or Paris Games Week? Maybe, who knows. We might probably get the chance to see the water gauge or extra stuff. Now, Gamescom will take place between August 17th and 21st. Paris Games Week will take place between October 27th and 31st. PSX, I'm not too sure when, but do you guys think that we might get a brand new trailer during those events? Well, one of those events? Could we maybe see brand new worlds? That would be cool. Anyways, let's get back to the point. The toy box version looks like a lot of fun. There's a lot of tiny puzzles scattered around, there's a lot of hidden areas. To unlock these secret hidden areas, we have to press on switches. Like really, this gameplay, we're not even talking about the final game. It looks like a lot of fun, I wish I had the chance to play it. But oh well. I'll wait for the final game. Oh, about the feedback I talked about in the beginning. In these hidden areas, we meet the robot we met in the beginning. One of them tells you to go on the Playtonic Games' forum to like pretty much give feedback, to talk about what the camera felt like. I really like what they did with the robot, it's original. Like the robot is telling you to go visit the website. That's pretty cool. Next, there's a hidden room which we see the animations for the enemies. They're pretty hilarious. One of them wears a hat, one of them wears a pair of shorts on its head. Now right outside this room, by performing a triple spin by killing 3 enemies in a row, it's considered as a combo move. By performing this combo, Laylee performs this spinning move in the air, which is pretty cool. So I think we should expect a lot of these combo moves in the final game. What else do we notice? We notice that the final game will have a bunch of slippery slopes. Some of the platforms which Yooka rolls on are slippery, and some of them could probably represent ice in the final game. Now, a while ago, Playtonic Games explained that when the players remain idle in the game, there's animation. What we see in the toy box version is Yooka falling. Once he falls, Yooka picks him up, which is pretty cute. So I'm guessing we should expect a lot of animations when the player remains idle. It's nice to have that feature, it gives life to the characters. Here's another pretty interesting secret hidden room. We see a bunch of particles, which will pretty much be in the final game, I guess. Here's another interesting thing we can notice inside this room. We notice a figurine in a bubble, and we notice this other figurine spinning around it. Now what could it represent? One can come up with anything. Maybe the figurine in the final game might be a Pagie, and the other figurine surrounding it might be an enemy. But I'm just guessing, I might be completely wrong. The toy box version has this windy area, so Yooka-Laylee pretty much walk extremely fast. And I laughed for some reason. Now at a point, a switch appears on top. By pressing that switch, a door opens. So to basically get through the passage, Yooka-Laylee must stick against the wall. And this might mean that the final game will have a lot of obstacles, which will make the game a lot more interesting. Next, we see a ghost rider for the first time. These creatures were only mentioned on the forums and on the websites, but they were never actually shown in gameplay. Now there are 5 of these creatures. Some of them hide, some of them attack you, and some of them run away. In the toy box, the one we need to capture runs away. So by capturing all of them, I'm guessing that we get a Pagie. It's kinda similar to the Jinjos in Banjo-Kazooie. By collecting 5 Jinjos, the player would gain a Jiggy. Although the toy box version has 100 quills, it only has 1 ghost. I'm guessing that Playtonic Games wants to keep it a surprise, not spoil too much. And notice how they all look different. The Jinjos looked all similar, but had different colors. Breaking crates has been confirmed. We can either break them by doing a spin move or using ground smash. Alright, now about the quills. By collecting all 100 of them, we get a Pagie. And notice the animation, doesn't it remind us of the animation of a Jiggy from Banjo-Tooie? It kinda does a bit. So in the end, this game is pretty much nostalgia. So yup, next, here's something that caught my attention. There's a hidden room which has a bunch of floors that will represent environments in the final game. We're talking about sand, grass, and ice. The one which slows down Yooka is probably sand, and we can also tell it's sand by the sound effect. Oh, here's one thing I forgot to mention. After collecting the Pagie, a hidden switch appears. Now if I played this game, it probably would have taken me forever to find that switch. It's very well hidden. It's like hidden underwater. You have to like enter this small room. So after finding that that switch, another secret room is revealed. In that secret room, the robot reveals that the player has to go to Shipwreck Creek in the final game. For those of you who don't know, Shipwreck Creek is Yooka and Laylee's home. And apparently, the ship is called Batship Crazy. Talk about jokes, right? Now, according to the robot, by ground smashing one of the lone rocks, it will reveal some sort of secret. Now, no one knows what it is. Now, for the release date, it's planned on getting released early 2017. It was originally going to get released in October, but since a lot of people funded this game, Playtonic doesn't want to disappoint. They want to take their time. So the final game is going to get released on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Wii U, Mac, Linux, and PC. Now, is this game going to be physical? I don't think Playtonic confirmed it. We'll just have to wait. But anyways guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. As always, I've been Vivi, and thanks for watching.